Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I am Clementine, and as always, I am Super Saiyan. But never mind that. In this video, we're gonna take a couple P90s, rip them open, reconfigure the magnets and the wiring. Then we'll use some scissors and a drill to make a double coil humbucker backplate out of a state of Alabama vehicle identification tag. We'll screw all this junk together, slap it in a testing mule guitar. I will show and explain this entire process in detail, and if this sounds like something you might be interested in, stay tuned.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Alright broskies, cause let's be honest, there's only like 2 girls watching this. In the last video, I took a humbucker, ripped it apart, and made it into a single coil size P90. So naturally, that generated a whole lot of discussion and several suggestions to do exactly the opposite. A P180, as someone said. So naturally, immediately upon seeing these comments, I used my YouTube money to go to eBay and purchase 2 sets of high output ceramic P90s. The reason I do it this way is because they're only a couple of dollars a piece, and that's basically less money than I could even buy the parts for. And I have a partnership with a magnet company in China. Either way, these have been built, put together, and soldered by hand because all pickups are. First thing to do is remove this brass backplate and these screws, which would have probably cost me about the same as this whole pickup. And with that removed, you can see that there is a spacer in there on the screws and a magnet on each edge, just like I showed in the diagram in the last video. If I remember, I'll pop a card in the corner here so you can see that. So nothing was actually holding anything down in here except for friction. It may be glued a little by wax, but you can pull the spacer right out of the middle and just take those magnets right out of there. I ended up driving all the pole piece screws real far down into the pickup trying to get the cover off. But the cover was glued on by wax. No matter what I did, I couldn't get it off. And the reason I was trying to take it off is because DiMarzio has a patent on a double cream colored humbuckers. In fact, they just tried to sue Gibson, the inventor of double cream colored humbuckers. So, hello DiMarzio, there ain't nothing here for sale. So the first order of business to get these 2 pickups to buck hum is to flip the magnets on one of them. You want these to be magnetically out of phase, just like it would be in a regular humbucker. There's north on one side and south on the other. Some humbuckers, like this one I put in my Tysco, have 3 magnets. So it's kind of like a little double P90, but it just has 1 magnet in the center. This was actually mentioned in the comments under that last video, and as the person stated, the dimensions of the P90 coils really won't allow you to use 1 magnet in the middle unless you buy a double wide magnet, and I checked with my supplier and I would have to order 100 of them, and that'd be like 218 bucks. And we can simply check the polarity with a common compass. Since the magnets are placed in a repelling fashion inside of a P90, it will force 1 polarity up the poles. So the top will be 1 polarity and both sides will be a different one. And once you get 2 of these reading completely opposite, you got it. Someone made this comment in the last video. This doesn't seem very kind, but it was around Christmas time, so I understand. However, I don't know exactly how much merit there is to it, because the thing about these backplates is they're non-magnetic. As well, when you screw out the pole pieces on the P90 about the amount that most people do to get some good grunge out of it, they don't stick out the back anymore. This here car tag is also non-magnetic, so I'm going to use this to create my backplate. All I did was to take one of the backplates from the P90, trace it onto the tag with a Sharpie, move it over, leaving a little gap to give clearance for the covers. Clipped it out of there with a big old pair of industrial scissors from Harbor Freight. And to be fair to the person that made that comment, I will drill all these holes. First with a tiny pilot bit, and then with a big one to offset the fact that these are crooked as hell. So now we gotta remove that backplate to get to those wires. And as you can see, both the wires have magically become blue because this is 2 bridge pickups. That way we'll have high output, high resistance, and nobody can say that the pickup sounds the way it does or doesn't sound the way it does because there's not enough resistance or output. This was brought to my attention on some of the comments of the last video, like why the pickup I made doesn't or will never sound like a P90. That face I made was because of on my amplifier in the room that I play in on my ears, where I play my P90 Les Paul Jr., it sounded just like a P90. It seems maybe some people have more of an idea about what a P90 sounds like than actual experience, because a P90 especially, Alnico, it twangs. If your P90 sounds like mud, then it's junk. As I've said many times and played this clip many times, if it's twangy, it's rocking. Now, I want to let you guys know I ain't trying to dunk on nobody or be an ass. I would like to thank every single person that has commented on this channel. You guys are allowing me to live a pretty cool life. But with facts being factual and all, them's the breaks. So, now we gotta start messing with this wiring, and what we gotta do is wire these in a series out of phase configuration. And this is probably where I'll insert a quick diagram to show how you need to wire these two coils up. On one coil, you can unsolder or clip the wire off completely, and on the other coil, you want to clip only the hot lead, move it over to the old ground on the other pickup, and connect the two wires that used to be positives in the middle. And if you'd like a coil split, you pull it right off from here. I'm pretty sure you could install some kind of a switching system on the other two wires and make it where you could select which pickup you were coil splitting to. Anyway, this is what it looked like in actual practice. I just desoldered the wires, clipped others, used the old ground lug as a new solder point, wrap it up in tape, stuff it down in there. Then it's time to put the back plate on, start putting the screws in it, screw down the ground lug, and you got a humbucking double coil P180. So to mount it in the test mule guitar, I just put a piece of foam mat under it to hold it up the right height, put 4 P90 mounting screws in it, hook up the wires, stuff them in the hole, hook it up to a stock stage right 15 watt tube amp with a 12-inch Celestion speaker, and we can see how that works. Before I start, I want to real quickly say, you cannot judge the tone of the pickup off of one part of this. Look, pay attention to where I'm picking. That'll have a lot to do with the tone of the pickup. You could say, oh, this humbucker is twangy as hell. It's where I picked. I can also do this. Or it's what you do. So I'm gonna stomp this thing. Look, you can tear one up, or you could say, hey, check this out. Okay, let's turn the gain down and the volume up. Turn it down up a little bit. Okay, now listen. I'm not going to touch anything now. That's the joy of P90s, and this humbucker still does it perfectly. Oh, this actually sounds fucking awesome. That sounds just like the record. Go for a stop. Okay, now check it out, guys. I can tell that the magnetism is stopping this thing from ringing out. It has actually got stratitis. It's all weird. It feels like a banjo, like thunk. Yeah, don't ring. Well guys, that just about does it for this video. If you found this educational or entertaining in any way, please like and maybe subscribe. I am Clementine. You are watching Heavy Metal ATC. Till next time! If it's twangy, it's rockin'.